Cancer. So here's your story. I've been sitting here with the images, the cards. Did you hear that? The cards and the story. Let's see what else comes up as we go. And here we go. So first card out we have is the Unseen. What this card told me when it popped out was that you are now being given the open door, the unveiling, the ability with help to see beyond what is around you. And the reason why you're being given this opportunity is probably because you've been asking for it for a long time, to see the truth, to see what to do. And what it feels like to me from this card, the riddle, is that you have been asking for that because you want to find out what the right answer is. You want to know what the right thing to do is. And that's what's been keeping you stuck. This very much feels like you've been stuck in this wanting to figure out this riddle. That makes no sense. That you just want the right answer. And what this is telling me is that there is no right answer for you. It's just it's going to come to you once you let go of having to be right, of having to have the right answer. Your answer will come to you. So it's not about the right answer, it's about your right answer. And this usually is like what people call like a aha moment. It'll like hit you, which as we go on, the themes in this spread are very similar to, like, it's like the same ideas to each card. It's a repeated message. So it's telling me you've been looking for the right answer and you've been stuck until you find the right answer. And what it's saying is, don't look for the right answer, look for your right answer. And to do that, you're going to have to become the warrior. So the warrior is, so there's a lot of serpents here. There's a serpent here. There's a serpent here, which is all about transformation and shedding a skin. And what the warrior is the warrior mentality, the warrior energy is somebody who's just, it's almost beyond not being scared to go to war. It's the acceptance of not knowing. Like I said, it's almost like you fear the unknown here, and that's why you want the right answer, and that's why it's not coming to you. But now, through dreams or through intuitive hits, clairs, however it is that messages come to you, you are being asked, don't be scared. And this very much feels internal. Something in you is holding on to having to be right, or to having something to be a certain way or another. This is actually asking you, don't be scared to go into battle not knowing whether or not you are going to lose this part of it, whether or not you are going to have to shed this skin. Go into battle and figure out there. That's the answer. That's the aha moment is going to come to you there. And know that this is the last card for the archetype deck, from the archetype deck. The creator. Know that from that point, see how the colors of the rainbow, the chakras are both here in these cards. Know that by going to this battle is when you'll be able to create whatever you want out of yourself, or if you're an artist, for example, to take those experiences and bring them to light in your art. But this very much feels like it's an inner battle that you've been going through, and an inner creation. You get to create yourself once you go to battle, and you have that complete acceptance of, I don't know if I'm gonna die, I don't know if I'm gonna live, I don't know who's gonna win this war. But the point is not that. The point is to go there and see what happens. And you can see how in this skull, it's almost like the third eye is this gem over here, and then we have this over here, that eye. It's almost like only by going there in this complete acceptance will you truly see what you've been wanting to see. And then from there, only from that place, can you create whoever you want to be next, whatever it is that you're being called to become. So now the animal spirit deck, and there's a lot of these cards here. So many came out for you today, Cancer. The first is the mouse spirit. Tend to the small things. So perhaps you've been wanting to see the bigger picture, you've been on the right thing to do, and you've been missing a lot of the details, and the answer perhaps is in a lot of the details, and you've missed it, but this is telling you go back and revisit perhaps the small things have the answers that you're looking for, the true vision. The second card here is the turkey spirit. Give with gratitude and grace. And this very much feels like giving of yourself is what I am feeling to this process, to this inner recreation of yourself. And obviously once you do that, you'll give from the outside, and whatever, again, if you're an artist, whatever these creations that you are going to be manifesting from this inner transformation, this inner realization, actually, you'll be able to give out and to tell your stories and to, ouch, my ankle just popped, to give in a more graceful way. Perhaps if you are some kind of artist, a creative artist, you perhaps have been trying to force things into your art, or you wanting them to be a certain way. Maybe you're a perfectionist, for example, and from this place of giving with gratitude and grace, it'll be like an easier flow for you to do so. To achieve that, a really helpful thing for you to have here is the porcupine spirits telling you to time for the beginner's mind. So go back, revisit this riddle, and see it in a completely different way. Instead of wanting it to be exactly what you wanted it to be, revisit it with a completely new mindset, so that it doesn't have to be the right answer, the truth. It's your truth. Let's start here with the Shaman Oracle deck. The first card that we have here is the Sun. So this is telling me a few things. That one, you've been asking to see. You've been asking and asking to see what you're not seeing about this, the details, and perhaps it's actually made you project what you see, this right answer, onto other people. You think you're being very helpful about helping other people, giving this and that advice or whatever, or insights for other people, but it's actually been a projection of you wanting to always be right and like be helpful, or have the answers for people. It's almost like you love giving advice, and you think every advice you give, or whatever you do to other people, is the right thing. And it's actually asking you to, it's actually your see this part of yourself, the one that loves to give advice or good intentions. You could have very good intentions with these, but reconsider that perhaps a lot of the things that you've given advice for is a projection of you wanting to feel right about the way that you see things. The next card here is the Serpent. So definitely, just like it's another serpent from these cards that I've showed you before. Here, serpent. A lot of these cards have serpents. It really is, it seems like you're shedding a part of yourself. And it seems like that part of yourself, let go. Let go of having to be right. Let go of having to be the person that people come to you for advice because you feel like you know. There's a part of yourself that you're shedding here. The next card here, we have the Andean cross. This is telling me, oh, I just got a sudden ache in my right shoulder blade. To me, this right here in this spread, it feels like you have to pierce through something. You have to pierce through, this is both feels like the directions, it's almost like you're so focused on, there's 4 directions. There's up, down, left, and right, and that's the way that things work. But there's actually a different option, which is if you pierce right through the middle, you get to break that time continuum. You get to break that mindset that things make sense only that way to be right. It's actually, once you break down there, you'll see that there's a right answer for you, there's a right answer for other people, and all of them could be very different, and all of them could be very real. And it's almost like you'll understand that people are on their different timelines, and whether or not you are actually right about the advice you give to people, it doesn't matter, because if they're not ready to get that information, if they're not ready to see that those truths that you're offering, even if you are right, you have to understand that they'll understand what they're meant to understand. Maybe you try to shove it in their faces, or you're trying to be like, well, I told you so, that kind of thing. Understand that even if you're right about it, it might not be their truth right now. They may not be on the level of understanding what you're trying to tell them. Beautiful next in this, like, normally to me, I don't like when the cards are, anyway, sorry. My perfectionist side is coming out. Yeah. Normally this combination would feel to me like something's about to fall apart in your life big time, but actually it just feels like within yourself some big, again, the aha moment of some big realization is about to hit you and to set you free. Something within you is about to break down, some kind of understanding, some kind of truth is about to be broken down, so you can see beyond that, and you can be freed of this mindset that you've been in. And it's about to make some noise, probably on the outside. So maybe it's something that you've been needing to tell somebody, maybe some kind of truth or whatever. But more so on the inside, it's just like, it's not just going to be a different perspective that you're going to see, it's a different perspective that you're going to have to implement and change yourself in. So if this is resonating with you, and perhaps you see that part of yourself that needs to be right and needs to be validated for it, or like this I told you so mentality, breaking that entirely within you. So not only are you going to be able to see it and be free from it, but you're going to break that down in you entirely and become a different person. That, there's nothing wrong with giving advice, but maybe only give advice when you feel like it's right, when you feel like you have something to share, or when the other person asks for it. If you're the kind of person who's been giving unsolicited advice because it makes you feel good that you know the answer, whether they're ready to receive it or not, that might be a pattern that is completely breaking down within you. Otter Spirit here says you're never alone. And so again, this very much feels like it's that perhaps you've been doing these patterns, whatever, if this is resonating with you, out of wanting validation. That's your way of getting validation, is wanting to be right, wanting to be smarter, wanting to be looked up to in a certain way. But all of that might be coming from a place inside of you that feels alone, or feels unworthy in some way, that you've had to create this super intelligent part of yourself to feel like you have something to give, to feel like you have something of value, because you don't feel worthy in some way. Maybe you don't even recognize that. Maybe that's going to be your aha moment, is you become this way because of this worthlessness inside of you, and you think, I'm going to create something that's worth people valuing in me. And so you became this, I don't know, unsolicited advice person, which is fine, but it's actually telling you you're not alone. There's always a lot of, and I know this doesn't really feel as good when it comes from, the spiritual world, you're always surrounded by your spirit guides and your loved ones, and sometimes it's annoying to hear. It's just like, yeah, but it's not the physical, that's not human, and I want some human. This is actually just telling you on the inside, validate yourself. Validate yourself. You're never alone, because you always have you inside of you, and you know the truth, and it doesn't mean that other people are ready to hear it, and maybe you have to discern when to and when not to, but definitely don't do it from a place of needing validation for being right. That's what I'm feeling here. And the next card right next to it is be at home, the Wombat spirit. Be at home. So it's telling me the same thing I just explained to you. Actually, like, I think I skipped right through it without even bringing the card up. I was feeling it. Is that be at home within you. Know whether or not you're right, whether or not you have the answer. Know, or even if you do give them advice, let go of the attachment of um, I told you so, or like I was the one who told them, I was the one who helped them, or that's where you find value. If people implement it and then they have to thank you for helping them, just give the advice if you need to, and then walk away. Like if they take it, they take it. If it helps, it helps. My job is done. I did the best I could. Just be at home within yourself to know that. And again, I feel like I felt that skunk spirit. Know your worth. It very much feels like this is all about self-worth. Of you've been you've developed this personality trait, this pattern, because of you wanted to feel worthy about something, and you took it to, if I'm super intelligent, if I give super good advice, people will come to me and I will feel valued. And then you've used that to push, it's almost like pushing your truth or pushing your need to help onto other people, and that's actually been hurting you because it comes from a place of low self-worth instead of being from a place of wanting to help, wanting to give gracefully, wanting, like, being thankful that people come to you for advice, and letting them go whether or not they get the message. And the last card here for the animal spirit is squirrel spirit. Believe in yourself. And so this, my cat, he's so cute. It's hard not to pay attention to them when they come into the room. I have many, if you can see, and he's gonna jump. Yeah, there he is. No, not on the table. And you can see there's another one sleeping up there. Yeah, there she is. All right. There we go. Believe in yourself. Sorry about that pause. Cats come in and my mind goes, ooh, cat. Squirrel spirit. And this, so the idea of the acorn for me is always very powerful, more so than the squirrel almost in this story. But really it's the realization that it's all within you. Everything you need for your self-worth is all within you. And I know we hear that a lot, and it could get annoying sometimes until we get it. But it very much seems to me like something's about to hit you on the inside that you will see. And you will see what it means to have self-worth on the inside, and to believe in yourself fully, and to know that the universe is inside you. And then we have here the middle world, and very much feels like he's so cute. Look at him. Hello. Feels like whatever you've been trying to create, or yourself recreating yourself, or this change is going to be manifested. I don't know. English is not my first language. You are really being pushed to create this, to change this, to bring this into life, into your being. It's almost like there's no card. This is probably a terrible example. There's no card here to say this, but it's almost like you're recreating your DNA, your personality, your being on the inside from this aha moment. And then here, the last two cards, the mystical shaman and the owl. And then I noticed here that it's actually in sequence with the numbers 38, 39. The shaman is 38, the owl is 39. It's very much saying that it's the achievement of this state of being unattached. Like I said before, it's almost like, I could feel the energies before I started, so it just came out all quicker than the cards that I showed you. But this detachment from this pattern, from being right, from your self-worth coming from validation from the outside, that kind of thing. This detachment, this stopping, this just peace within yourself, to know your own self-worth, and to know that You don't have to keep going and doing these things because it's actually harming you and stopping you from growing. And this is actually telling me, it's not telling me, it's just, it came out of the book, and it won't leave me alone in this bread, more so than what I'm feeling. It wants to be said from the book that this is telling you to wait for something. Wait, there's something you need to do or say or make right, because you'll have a higher perspective about this. Something coming, but wait until the right time. It's almost like you had the chance to do this and you missed your window. And it's telling you that something will reopen in the soon, and you'll have another opportunity to do something that you didn't do. And wait for it. Don't go having this aha moment, and then feel like I need to do, like I can feel it. This is it. Finally, I can do this thing that I've been trying to do, or that I've been trying to create. It's actually, this card is telling me, slow down, stop. So, yes, yeah, you probably are right. There's something that you need to do, and you know what it is, and you'll feel it. Wait until the opportunity comes. Don't force it. Don't try to create it too soon. Wait. This is what because usually if it's the feeling of it, I get different feelings for that card, and it's not usually what's in the book, but right now the book just came to me and said, this is the message for this card today. So this is what I have for you. I hope it helps, Cancer, and good luck with everything, and I will see you next time.